After witnessing her best friend's brutal murder and seeing her body dumped over the cliff, Julie knew that if she got caught, she'd meet the same fate as Anna. She quietly slipped back to the cabin, grabbed her gear, and made a run for it. The men chased her from the early morning hours until dawn, but a steep rock wall blocked her escape route. With her pursuers closing in, Julie made the split-second decision to start climbing. Taylor wasn't about to give up and began scaling the wall after her. Julie couldn't afford to waste a second. Taylor's climbing skills seemed superior to hers, and he was gaining ground fast. She stepped on his hand to create some distance, but he quickly caught up again. He grabbed her backpack, accidentally pulling off one of the climbing clips, which sent him tumbling down. At the last moment, he managed to catch hold of a ledge. Soon enough, Taylor was back on her trail, reaching desperately for her ankles. This time, Julie kicked him square in the chest, sending him crashing down hard onto the rocks below. The other men carried the badly injured Taylor back to the cabin before resuming their pursuit of Julie with fresh equipment. Along the way, they found her dropped phone. Jack figured she'd lost half her gear already, and with temperatures plummeting, he decided to circle around and wait for her to appear higher up. Even if they couldn't catch her, the cold would finish the job. Julie pressed on relentlessly, struggling up the treacherous cliff face. The wind whipped mercilessly around her, but there was no turning back now. Just as she reached for a handhold with her left hand, a venomous snake suddenly appeared on the ledge. Julie froze in terror. She recognized this species as deadly poisonous. Holding her breath and staying perfectly still, she waited as the snake seemed to lose interest and slithered away. She continued her ascent while the three killers below frantically hauled their equipment, steadily closing the gap between them. The higher she climbed, the more difficult it became. Each move was a struggle as Julie pressed her body against the rock face, trying to give her arms a moment's rest. Then she hit a major obstacle, a smooth section of rock with no handholds. The only way forward was to reach a rope that previous climbers had left hanging from a point several feet away. For Julie, it seemed impossible, but she had no choice with the three men already circling around to cut off her escape. Slowly, she removed her backpack, maintaining a three-point contact with the wall while carefully extracting a steel wire from her pack. After straightening it out and adjusting her weight distribution, she extended the wire, hoping to snag the rope. After several attempts, she finally managed to hook it. The next maneuver would be even more dangerous. She had to swing across to the adjacent rock face, and there was no room for error. Against all odds, Julie made it safely across. Looking up, she spotted a weathered tent clinging to the cliff face, clearly left behind by previous climbers. She carefully worked her way toward it, finding a protruding rock that provided a decent foothold. Finally, she could rest. Meanwhile, the three killers had reached the top of the cliff. Jack cautiously peered over the edge and spotted Julie directly below, though a large boulder blocked most of their view of each other. Hearing Jack's voice from above, Julie set down her pack, realizing she'd have to spend the night on this ledge. Jack called down that if she handed over the camera, they'd leave her alone, and dropped a rope down to her. Julie slowly stood up and used her steel wire to hook the dangling rope. When they pulled it back up, they found Julie had attached a sarcastic note instead of the camera. Though Jack was furious, both sides seemed to have reached a stalemate. Julie bandaged her cut finger and pulled out her last remaining piton from her pack. Carefully standing upright, she secured it into a crack near the cliff top. She re-rigged her tent as darkness fell and temperatures dropped rapidly. Crawling inside her shelter, she lay down to rest, knowing she'd have to survive the night on this precarious perch.